Well, it's kind of funny. It all started over a conversation that Laura and I were having on the front porch one afternoon. And, we were talking about my current boyfriend that I was seeing and two of my exes. And Laura thought it would just be insanely funny about, the exes are jealous over the current boyfriend. And so she's like, no, we shouldn't make a screenplay. And it should be called Killing So-and-so. And then we started thinking, and she and Jason started talking. And then they were like, why don't we call it Killing Christian? It's got a certain ring to it.
Pre-production got moving really quick. We had an accelerated schedule to prepare for, to get shooting in the summer. So one of our first tasks was to hold an open casting call, which we held in April at the Birmingham Festival Theater. We had already filled some of the major roles. Chris Rice was already slated to play Mark Devlin, the player. Jason Kendall, who was one of the co-writers, had given himself really the role of Hunter Chase, the depressed gay chef in love with Mark. And we had Laura Kilgore slated to play the role of Faith, one of the other three major characters. So we still had a couple of major roles to fill, and that was Talon, who was a bisexual character, one of the three main people in love with Mark Devlin, and of course the title role of Christian. So at the casting call, we went through various parts of the script, had a number of people just come in to read, and we found the perfect Talon when Lucky Solis walked through the door. But as the casting call continued to go on, we hadn't yet found our perfect Christian Wood. But lo and behold, an actress came in who was really looking for just some maybe summer work as a role as an extra in a film to get a little experience before her planned move to Los Angeles. And when she first came on the stage and just read some lines as Christian, we knew we had our Christian Wood, and that was Abby Butler.
She's been acting her whole life. I think she came out of the womb that way. She's always wanted to put on plays. She's always wanted to perform in front of family, friends, anybody that was willing to take a seat and listen to her sing or go through her little routine with her sisters or her little brother or anybody, the kids in the neighborhood. She was always performing, always trying to do something to try to get our attention. And she always would sit in front of the television and talk about that one day she was going to be a big movie star like Grace Kelly or people like that.
I hadn't planned on even auditioning for the role of Christian, and they just kind of needed a girl to read. And so I was like, yeah, sure, no problem, whatever. And so I read, and I remember thinking, wow, this girl would be really, really fun to play.
I really think we need to work on finding out what makes these characters tick individually, what makes them stand out, and how is the audience going to relate to these people. What's going to make them say, yeah, my friend's just like that, or man, I dated an asshole who was just like this guy, you know? We have to find a way to relate, otherwise it's completely useless and the project will never get lifted. Because relating is the thing, that's what acting's about, that's all it is.
Mark's character kind of stabilizes the film in a sense, in that the majority of his parts aren't really comedic, they're more serious.
Being able to experience some of the things I've done before, like Big Fish, Sex and the City, I was able to bring a little bit of knowledge of what I've seen from that, and got to experience it at a professional level to know exactly how it's supposed to be run. So that was a good experience enough for me to bring to this project.
Basically, right now, I already have a $1,000 donation to the film. Will be coming in very, very soon with a potential of 2 other $1,000 donors in the next couple of weeks. So we're getting there.
Oh God, I want to die.
Oh Christ, are you still hoping he'll come over to the dark side? Fiancé, it means he's going to marry her, not you.
I know what it means.
I'm glad that we still had time to rehearse. I'm a director who, I think rehearsal is very important, especially for this film. I felt that rehearsal time was essential because we had a story here that was dealing with, 3 characters who at first hate each other and, eventually have to go through a lot of changes in their relationships. And so the chemistry between them, I felt only could come from rehearsal time. So we had about 4 weeks of rehearsal. That really helped to really work on a lot of the scenes, especially since we were dealing with a lot of first-time actors. I felt that having the time to try out these scenes and practice them was essential.
It's really interesting. I think that's probably the best thing about being a writer is to see your character really live and breathe, and to be something outside of yourself. I think all characters for writers are an extension of yourself, but to see that character develop into something you really didn't expect is I think the best thing in the world is to be able to sit down and watch a scene and forget that you wrote it. Mm-hmm. To see like it's something that's really happening.
Now you have to bring her down here and torture me?
Talent, I'm sorry.
Oh, that really helps, Mark. Just run away, little boy. You always do.
Right now we're getting ready for the, I guess you could say, pre-production crew meeting. Basically setting up what are going over the ground rules of how we're going to lay out the cameras, how we're going to get everybody to work in. This will actually be my first night meeting the cinematographers. So basically we're just going to go from there, see how everything's going to set up, ready to see what we're going to be working with, ready to go.
And, we ultimately decided on Prater, I think, because we were really impressed with who he was as a person and basically a lot of the recommendations that we had from people.
Well, me and Andor met when I was going to school in Orlando, and he was actually a teacher there. And so we met there, and we got along really well. I knew Morgan in Birmingham before I moved to Orlando, and then he moved to Orlando and lived with me down there also. So we've all known each other forever. And then Forrest I played music with for about 10 or 12 years, and then so I just got him into this with us too, because he's a hard worker and he's smart and he learns things very quick. And then Brooks we met shooting Homesick. He was I think first AD or something on Homesick, and he eventually just he was the hardest worker on that set, so we brought him into. There's a crew of 5, so we're all doing about 10 people's jobs instead of having. Yeah. So it takes us longer to do stuff, but it's because you can't be doing 2 things at the same time.
The funny thing is we learned a really important lesson yesterday, and that's just simply that there are so many things you don't think about in trying to set everything up, and you think that you have everything ready. And it was good that we learned it on our first day of shooting, so that now going in we understand better what all is involved. There's an incredible amount of equipment, and I think the great majority of us have never been on set, so we didn't know. And I think it'll better prepare us in going into other places and letting them know this is what we have to do, this is what's involved, and it will certainly make sure that, across the board, everybody has to be on the same page.
Well, it's early in the morning, and the first scene we're shooting today is going to be me in the shower. They're going to have the camera on me coming out of the shower. I'm going to be in the buff, as we call it here, and then I'm going to get out and start dancing to a song called It's Raining Men.
And action.
Welcome to Shade Naked Chef.
Everybody in their boxers.
Make sure I don't have holes.
Yeah, everybody.
Do you have holes?
It's the whole sleeping with the Amy thing.
No, you're not.
That is a roaster.
Well, that's good, because I wanted my ass in there.
I think it happened. And action.
Bonjour. Welcome to Naked Chef.
It's a good thing I came home.
And cut. Well, the only thing is it looks too fake when it's cooking.
Hello.
It just I know.
Look, let's get some butter, put some eggs in there. I'll clean out the sand. I swear.
And cut. Excellent. I like when you do the raised eyebrows too at the end of it.
Yeah.
That was good.
That was very good.
Very, very good.
Is that good?
All right, thank God I'm getting it. Yeah, we're good on that. Anybody want any naked eggs?
It got stressful for me really quickly though, because realizing we're in here with a lot of equipment that I didn't realize how much equipment there was. So the stress of knowing that the owner was tense about all the equipment was very stressful. And then just being around all that stuff. That place, I'd never realized how jam-packed with stuff that building is.
And action.
Don't you look cozy?
Well, I was relaxing.
Perhaps I can help you with that.
Brianna, this is not gonna happen. Why won't you let it go?
Tell me you don't miss me.
I don't miss you. I remember the games and your vindictiveness. I've changed. I'm in love and I don't need you.
Do you really expect me to believe you changed? You'll come back. You always do.
Not this time. You use me. You use me for all the parties and the money. She loves me for who I am.
Does she now? Well, we'll see.
And cut.
Did you write that thing?
I did. After I wrote it, it just felt so primal, and I liked that about the character, because I liked that aspect of that she's not apologetic.
So the biggest thing today is going to be the rooftop scene, making sure we time that with the sun going down, and hopefully it won't rain.
I don't feel it's
So
gonna
far,
rain.
yeah, I don't get a rain.
We're a
feel.
very intuitive group. I did my anti-rain dance today.
We need to do it big time for Monday though. That's when we're at the golf course, and that one kind of worries me.
God, that means I gotta get the peacock feathers out.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah.
You know.
That's pretty much our motto with this film. Whatever it takes.
Yeah, whatever it takes.
Anything else? Is our first shot on? I'm gonna bring the entire AC bag. So the first thing we're on is the jib arm. Keep that on.
Yeah, we should probably go and build on the jib arm.
Yeah, I've already it's all set up. HMI set up. Everything's set up.
Hey, bro, thank you, bro.
Yes, sir.
Chimera. Chimera? Yeah.
All right, you're rolling up.
We were filming one of the most crucial scenes in the film that took place on a rooftop. So we had the issues of losing the light. It was critical that we, get the film shot before we lost the light up there.
Is the beer bottle part of the shot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's drinking a beer.
Is this the light you wanted?
I'll be drinking a beer soon if we don't get started because the sun is going down. director's getting nervous.
Basically, the scene that you're about to see is Christian and Mark on the roof. It's a very dramatic, intense scene where it's a big turning point of the movie. Can't go into specific details because it will spoil the surprise, but get ready for a very intense moment.
Camera and audio are set. Set. Roll sound. 49A, take 2, camera. Marker.
There you are. Oh my God, I've been looking everywhere for you. What are you doing up here?
How was your lesson with Hunter last night?
It was great. I'm getting really good.
We only got 3 takes of the master shot. The third take, I felt that we really had it, and it was starting to lightning. So of course we're on the top of a roof. It's probably not a good idea to stay up there when lightning is occurring. So we had to, unfortunately, I had envisioned that we'd use close-ups for that scene. We'd need to film those. So since we had another day still to film at Jefferson Flats, we were coming back the next day on Sunday. I figured let's come up to the rooftop again the next night and try to see if we get another lucky night of filming.
Okay, so we're having to shoot again on the roof today because the sun was dropping too fast and we had a lot of problems with the elevator knocking our HMI light out. So we wasted a lot of time trying to get the HMI up. So we lost our light, and then there was a massive thunderstorm coming in, so we just, instead of setting up for the few seconds before the rain hit us, we went ahead and broke down. So the problem we're running into is separating that shot from yesterday, because today is extremely overcast, whereas yesterday wasn't at all.
But it would still be nice just to have the establishing where he's here like this, and the camera comes up like this, and have her come up on it.
But then that's going to be it, really.
Right.
Because once they turn their back to it.
So we get what's important. What would be important would be
the arrival,
close-ups.
Yeah.
And then, if we have time, do the magic shot for our 2K that we're gonna put up. We're gonna arm it out like this at an angle because the way the sun was hitting them yesterday. If you look at the direction of the sun right now, the angle that it's coming at is from here, and we obviously can't get a light up on the stand from there, so we have to arm it out and then hit them, faking the light, and that's just their edge. That's what we're doing with this, is we're kind of unsafely rigging this stand. I mean, it'll be safe, but slightly unsafe. You have to make sure you cover that. This could be the last.
I know, that's what I was thinking.
Don't listen good.
Something else you did. What?
And cut.
Can we hear that? Flapping.
Huh? I didn't notice it bad that time. The shadows went in. The difficulty of matching the kind of weather conditions that we had the first night, but the second night was already difficult.
And action.
And we had a lot more difficulty with the performances that night because we were filming from another angle. We were filming from the front.
Cut. Why did I have to change your mark? I thought she was coming back from this way, like back from the door.
I changed your mark so I could see you in the picture because I couldn't see you.
Okay, but I mean, as far as coming from that direction?
All right, same.
No, if there was a reason, I just want to know.
It's just, a little frustrating when cameramen are shuffling around and things like that. I'm just not used to it, so maybe that's what's supposed to happen, but I'm such a control freak that I just really need to know if that's going to happen to me. So I'm just trying to cope with this whole you know, because it's different. It's weird to have a camera like this close to your face and to, you know, have to deliver lines to like the person who's here, but like deliver them right here and not be looking and things like that. So anyway.
And then we even had more issues come when we got into close-ups, and it was just getting darker and darker and darker.
And cut. Got it.
I felt like we were losing footage for a critical scene. And then we almost got to a point where I felt like, let me try shooting this as a scene at night, you know, of the two of them on the roof. And thankfully I jettisoned that idea.
I think last night was it wasn't perfect, but I think that it was a lot better than tonight. And that's frustrating, you know, especially when they're like, let's do it all over again. You're kind of like, okay. So it is frustrating, and just trying to take some time and not snap at anybody or, you know, to be honest, or anything like that, so.
We just realized that Laura Kilgore's schedule was pretty busy, and I think it was a relief to her as well that, you know, because she was nervous about trying to make it to everything and make it to the rehearsals and that kind of thing. So we thought probably for the good of the film, and especially as far as my biggest concern was with the other actors, because I had no doubts about Laura Kilgore's performance. She's a great actress. But as far as just the other actors, hadn't had a lot of chance to work with her. And they had worked with Stacey Vance quite a bit, and she had filled in for Faith in a number of the rehearsals and that kind of thing. So I think it was just a natural choice, and she was incredibly excited. We were all excited. I think it's going to be a great thing for the film.
I'm very excited about it. We were just outside blocking some scenes. So I was going to go to the bathroom and practice them in front of the mirror for a little bit when no one was looking. But she's also a little sick, so I'm supposed to do this nervous vulnerability, but, you know, hopeful type of look. So the lines are just the same. Happy birthday, Mark. It's good to see you. And that's it.
I guess I should confess. I slept with Brianna while I was with you. Can you forgive me?
Wait, that's not.
Cut me off! What's with you people?
Option number one. Oh, I like that.
When you jumped out of the canister.
Oh, that's sexy.
That was my crowning moment. Yeah.
Oh,
that set that shot. That set that shot. Do you believe was your crowning achievement in this weekend shoot? In your own words, what you think it is? What was your best?
You can't say nothing.
I don't really
because you were
feel
great
like
this weekend.
I have this problem.
Even if it was all crap, there's one bit of crap better than the rest. So pick it.
See, because this is what I don't hear enough. I don't hear when you.
Okay, this is sad, but I really liked my laugh at the end of the whipped cream scene. And that's all. Like, that's the only thing that I was like, hey, I'm really happy with that.
This is one of the ones I've been looking forward to. This is the first time we'll have all our 5 main leads together, and it's the beginning of the film, so it's one of my favorite sequences, so I think we're going to have a lot of fun tonight. Okay.
Well, this is our novice day here.
Yep. First day of shooting. Just took the role last week.
So she's real novice. That's okay, we have all the faith in the world in her.
Yeah, it's very difficult. When I'm at work and I know that we're shooting, I don't want to be at work, so I don't work as well. But I also know that this job is not going to be forever because I want to do this for a living. But you do have to have bills and pay them and be able to have phone calls and eat and smoke and... Of course.
Where else would he be? I'm looking around for a handle. I should just follow the camera. Huh? Are you guys ready? We're gonna run another rehearsal.
Don't be mean to me. The director's
Might be a
cool.
minute.
Supposed to go first, that's right. Try on that. Like, if you go to 100 first, then go down more.
What do we have?
We have
What
about.
did you count?
Let's see. We have about seven to 8.
I need more. What the hell are you? Are you excited?
Oh, I'm very excited. This is like my first step to stardom.
And she's going all the way.
Like the next move is like an HBO original movie.
She's drunk beyond belief.
No, I'm not drunk yet.
Trashed.
I just heard that we now have drunk extras, so this should be interesting. But fortunately, that's not my job. That's Logan's job. So, you know, I'm sure he will keep them in line unless he's drunk himself. So
What we're doing is trying to get all the extras to maintain, to stay here. Well, apparently a few took it upon themselves to start drinking. So we're trying to keep that to a minimum a little bit because I'm kind of worried that they may be like, look, we're drunk, we've been sitting here 4 hours, we're not getting paid, we're leaving. And considering I can't really handcuff them to a table, that could pose a problem. Hopefully we're about to start, so maybe we can get it going.
So you like it?
I do, very much. I'm sweaty, tired, and we're not going to finish until 2 minutes past Buddha. That's okay.
And action.
So glad you can make it on such short notice. This place is great. You look wonderful.
Hey, I wouldn't have missed it. Oh, these must be the friends you were telling me about.
So legally, Alabama state law says 2 a.m. So y'all can come back tomorrow, you can shoot all day, but this is an old lady, and like I said, I don't want to break the law. I'll lose my liquor license.
Well, yeah, she said we could come back, but it's just I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to kind of get this all wrapped in one night, so, you know, we'll see what we can get. Go from there.
We have not received money from the investors, which the money was supposed to have been mailed out last week, on Wednesday and Thursday of last week. One check was coming from Florida, one was coming from Birmingham. We have not seen a dime of it. So basically, we owe the production crew $10,000 yesterday. We don't have it.
So they basically laid it on the line that, you know, after last night, you know, without any payment, they couldn't continue and they'd have to start looking for paying gigs, which could end up, you know, if they end up getting a feature or something that could take them away from our film. So that was not pleasant.
Well, you know, they'd agreed that we would get like one payment up front and then one payment in the middle and then one payment at the end. And then they said they couldn't get their first payment for 2 weeks or something because of, I don't know, something random. I can't remember what it was. But like, so we waited for the 2 weeks to get the first payment and then we didn't get paid. So.
Because basically our next shooting day was scheduled for Saturday, so we'd have to come up with something by then if we're going to continue.
And they're all great people, and you always want to, you know, if you could sit there and just do their movies for free, you would, but I mean, you know, when you don't have another job, you kind of have to, when other people are calling you, you have to kind of go take the jobs that are paying, and so we finally just had to tell them, you know, we couldn't work on it anymore until they could get a payment to us, so.
We talked to the crew yesterday before we even filmed and asked them, you know, the fact that they knew our situation and they were still wanting to film through the night. We stayed there till 3 o'clock in the morning. It's a part that you know, makes it even more passionate to make this work because they care as much about it as we do, you know. And last night they did a great job. It wasn't not a lot of people I know that could not know if they were going to get paid and then still want to work for 12 hours after that.
We had one finance guy that we put all our faith in, and I think that was our mistake.
Well, we put our responsibility.
Yeah, and responsibility for it. But basically, it was going to be his job to secure our financing. So our mistake was that we did not consider a plan B, plan C on our own.
You know, it wasn't the fault of our finance guy. It wasn't anybody's direct fault. I think that it was just being caught up in it and being excited and seeing things falling into place and having...
It was so easy.
It was an easy place to be, to see it go. So now we're coming to the harsh realization that it isn't that easy. If it was, everybody would be doing it. And now comes the hard part where we really, really have to crunch and not leave it to one person's responsibility. It's everybody's responsibility if we all have the same passion for it, which we do. And that of itself doesn't have a price tag. I don't think we could ask for anything better than that. But it still puts us in a place where we're sitting here right now in Moe's trying to figure out what the hell we're going to do.
You know, a few of us have I put a good amount of my own money in early on to get us started with the insurance and that kind of thing. And, you know, if I had some more that I could give, I'd be giving it in a heartbeat. You know, so it's just finding the best solution, you know, that's going to work. And especially our biggest, you know, two concerns is to, you know, because obviously if we delay too much, we not only risk, you know, losing a crew that we are very, very happy with, you know, if they take on another project, but we also, if we have any production delays, we risk losing Logan and we risk losing Abby because they'll be moving.
In October, we bought a house, and then about 2 weeks later, I think we realized that we were definitely gonna need to be, you know, making some more money or making it more stably, because you know we're like 2 days away from 2 days.
2 days.
Yeah, 2 days until due date, and so you know, like the whole like going through the whole, you know, the money's not in right now, and you know all this was just extremely, you know, frightening, because it's like right now I've still got baby furniture to order, and you know the house is like, you know, we've got like no furniture, and I don't have baby stuff, and thank God for like showers and stuff like that, because otherwise she'd have no clothes. And
I would appreciate any help that you can give us. Anybody, I mean, we're willing, we'll come to Atlanta, we'll talk to them, whatever we need to do.
For my truck, which is basically my home right now, because I'm in a sad state too, but I'm willing to give whatever I can, and that's pretty much the only thing I can give. So the offer of my truck, to sell my truck, would be on the table.
You're doing this thing that's like helping somebody realize their dream or whatever, you know, and so you hate to like put them in a position where they may not be able to finish that, you know, and everybody's so excited and you're really, you know, wanting to do this together or whatever, but like, so I kind of have to put my foot down a lot, because you really would, I think, finish films for free sometimes. But thank God that the rest of the crew members wouldn't.
Now, did you guys speak to Chad about it? I mean,
we have. It's been a little hard.
That's been one of our main problems, is communication.
I mean, he must have some kind of, you know, he must be able to talk to these people.
We just don't know.
We don't know. He doesn't talk to us.
No, it's been part of the problem.
Where we are. Okay, so one of the investors, the one that's probably in Aruba, is that the one that's in Florida? Lives in Florida. Did you mail that, or did someone else mail that? You mailed it. Okay. Well, how do you feel? Chad did not mail any checks. One of the investors is actually, I think, a relative of his who he's in business with, and the other one is, like, I don't know who they are, but they're somewhere in Florida. But he said that one of the investors has gone to Aruba. That's why he can't get in touch with them.
Gone fucking Aruba.
The other one, I don't know, but Chad is very frustrated. But he wants to meet with us tomorrow, so.
And the check is in the mail, though.
And the check is good.
Or it's floating in Aruba.
I'd probably just piss him off.
In a bottle.
Yeah, he sent it from Aruba in a bottle, and it's gonna just slowly float back here.
Washing up on some.
It's gonna wash up.
Shore of Gilligan.
Yeah, it's gonna wash up on the shore someday, and we'll find it.
it's still not completely resolved, but the first payment's resolved. I just went ahead and made a decision that I would I would pretty much fund the first payment myself, which I have done, and I took the check to the production crew yesterday and paid it. Yeah, it was sad saying goodbye to my money, but it's a worthy cause, so I guess I'll just have to retire later.
Filming at Lemaistre was like filming a party. I mean, it was so much more relaxed. We had just paid, we had managed to make a payment, the tension was gone. The crew was more relaxed, we were more relaxed.
It's going to be coming through the door here. We're going to follow them, dolly back, jib through. You know, we're also on the jib, so we're going to come through the extras table here. And so we actually put an extra we know very well at this table. So
Yeah,
it's
so
to
you
not
can-
give anyone a concussion we don't know.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's why they put us
I'll
here.
take the concussion. I like concussions. They're fun. They make me feel all loopy.
Jason, I know through a friend of my mother's, and he told me about this, and I was immediately caught on just the idea of everything they're trying to do here. And basically, I gave pretty much everything I have to give to try and help this film, you know, get to where I think it should be. And I just honestly, I want to be a part of this company. I see great things around here. Everybody's happy to be here. I'm making a pretty good amount of money being an assistant manager at GameStop, and I could probably get my computer science degree instead of my theater degree and make a crap load of money. But I don't think I could be happier than with this company that they're trying to start. Waste Basket Productions is going to be the film industry of the Southeast.
What you doing, Forrest? Just a guy helping another guy out.
Nothing wrong with that.
Oh man, that's why we're in Iraq right now, so I can have his freedom.
They're having a lot of problem with the money of budgeting this film. I wasn't there and didn't have, I had to work. I couldn't be there when they all sat down, the production team, to discuss the money. It's a big issue. I worked that night to actually have money so I can pay my other bills off. I've been wanting to do this since I was small, and we're all working hard. We've had several people wanting to sell their trucks, wanting to give money from their mutual funds, wanting to do everything they could. I wish I could do more. I, however, am in a lot of debt myself. We had Christian give, I don't know how much she gave, 10,000, 9,000, 8,000, who cares? It's a lot of money. We had, Jason's put a lot of his personal finances into this, and so we have to go out and find people like that. It's new to Birmingham. I imagine if we were in California it would be hard, but it's got to be easier than this. New York would be hard, but it's got to be easier than this. We're in Birmingham. People look at a film and they go, what? You're doing a film? You're not going to do it. I've heard people that are involved with this project come up to me and say, oh, we're surprised you actually made it this far.
This has been by far the easiest to shoot so far. It's the least stressful. I don't know why though. It's like, I don't know, I guess the scene's also the shortest we've been filming. We've been doing like 15-minute scenes. And this one's just really relaxed.
Quiet on set.
Okay, guys. And action.
How do you do it?
Well, I work here mostly at nights, so it gives me plenty of time for killing.
No. How do you kill people?
These actors, I can't work with them. Next movie I do, it's going to be without actors.
So anything else, like as far as
I like it when y'all
In the next movie I do will be without a pain in my ass.
So you get to show everybody.
It's fair.
He's a killer.
And so are you, and me, and Talon.
Got it on take two. So we'll do another one just for...
Alright, good. I feel like
That
you're
was
safe.
enough to keep and to do
Yes.
another one for safety?
Yeah. Absolutely. That was great.
Wait. Mom.
We're friends with our enemies, so we began by giving them money.
So how does it feel now? First you offered that you could film in your house. How does it feel now that you want to do it?
That's a question, honey.
No, I was asked tonight if I would ever let anybody do this again. Because they were saying, oh, this is very invasive, and I just figured it would be somebody with a camera. I thought it'd be like a camera and, you know, some people. I had no idea it was going to be all of this stuff. And we had a couple of issues, one big one. So somebody asked me tonight if I would ever do this again, and I said I would do it for Lauren and Niece again.
Air.
A minute's worth of air.
It feels good.
All right.
That's funny because I'm sending you time.
Really?
It's going. It's a nice little office you got here. Is this usually you like to set up and
completely separate?
Totally out of the way.
Where I could be out of their way and they could be out of mine, basically. But it's so I can isolate myself from the actual sound that's up there.
Ever hear them talking about you?
Most people won't, because most people are already kind of think that everything in the place is mic'd, and you know, I'm kind of like the FBI. You know, everybody's like, don't talk about the sound man, because there might be a microphone somewhere around here. I did catch a guy peeing once, though.
Sound.
Speed.
Scene 18A, take 4, camera.
Speed.
Marker.
And action.
Is it bad for the assistant director to ask what's going on?
Just act like you know.
Yes.
You've got my neighbor's house lit up like it's broad daylight, and it's now
This
going,
way or this one?
whichever.
They just
But
cut
I
that
got.
light
Okay, so that it's.
Yeah, because we're done.
Okay.
Yeah, they just cut that light off.
Good, because my neighbors are all
Yeah,
like
that light up
85,
there.
and
Okay.
I don't know where their bedrooms are.
Okay. Yeah, that one should be off, right, Michael?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like our neighbors are all elderly, and I looked out, and it's like, Jesus Christ. You know, it's like this big, huge floodlight lighting up their homes across the street. Our house isn't lit up. Theirs is. So I went and asked, you know, when are we going to shut those off? Because I don't know where I don't know where her bedroom is across the street. And because if it was my bedroom and somebody had a flippin' floodlight on it, I would not be happy. Yeah, having the dogs, you know, if it wasn't for the dogs, this really wouldn't be such a big deal. But with the dogs, having to corner them off and trying to get them outside in between, you know, all the filming, because the filming is going on in the den, which is where their dog door is.
You could have peed on the floor. Not the carpet.
She's a poodle. Of course she peed on the carpet. It could have been you.
She's smaller.
Tommy Ray is and had a restaurant called Tom's Up Top, and went to him and asked him if we could use that for the filming, and he gave us sort of open reign of the place for a day, or for as long as we needed it, since they were closed on Sundays. We were able to have that time to film, and it was great. It was one of the best locations we were at. We didn't really have to worry about, you know, he came up there to visit us for a little bit just to meet everybody, but we really didn't have to worry about ticking someone off.
How long before rehearsal? We don't need to rehearse? That's right. Okay.
You guys missed it yesterday.
I know.
You missed our most grueling shoot yet, but we were on time. We actually finished on time at both locations. We did 2 locations in one day.
He's calling to say happy birthday. Hello, happy birthday to me.
Is your happy birthday today?
Yeah.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah, Lucky and I were actually separated at birth.
We were. That was the whole thing.
14 years
your way of
apart.
celebrating?
I got really drunk last night.
Right now, Mark is trying to find just the right deal. My hair doesn't seem to be cooperating.
From now until probably like
we're getting lots of huffs and puffs.
I mean, if you can be here right now, it'll probably be another.
I haven't started cursing yet, though. That's when it gets bad.
By my window, right? The sound is leaking in. People say we need all that sound to eat and fuck and shop and sleep. We need all that sound. We need the jumbo jets and the traffic. And I look at the jet, and it's soaring in every window. There's all these faces, all these people peering at me. I look down, the jackhammer's still going, but the guy's looking at me pleading. Please block this sound out. Block the fucking sound. I'm trying to pull the fucking window down, and everyone's looking, everyone's begging, and I just couldn't fucking do it. It was painted shut.
Hey, boys, play us a song.
Jason O'Brien called me, and we all felt like we should have a meeting to describe what everybody's duties were so that we could be in sync with the technical crew when they're setting up. And we could do hair and everything. The actors should actually get hair earlier than everybody else. And everybody knows what their duty is now, so it's kind of nice.
Very nice star treatment.
All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
Vote yes on Prop 64.
Yeah, you know what? I want to bring that mic. I'm so enwrapped with that. Oh, God.
You sir. I know, I'm sweating like a pig.
It's unprecedented tonight. We're going to beat Kendall's record for most takes.
What take are you on?
We're now currently on take 12.
Take 12?
Yeah.
But even if this one's good, you have to do the safety.
And I am not very proud of this.
Kendall's record is going down.
At last.
And cut. Very, very good.
Well, history was made tonight. We went 14 takes on our master shot for this. Mostly we had a lot of camera issues with because it's a complicated move. We hit 14, and then we had extra issues, of course, with extras wanting to leave, so we had to try to work through those. And it's a nice looking shot. It'll end up turning out nice.
Did everything go perfectly?
Because everyone's in denial. We almost got packed up and moved to another place because the lights were off.
So what do we?
I'll tell you about it later.
Second payment, basically it got thrown together over 2 days. We were shooting at Tommy's Up Top, and we had no idea what was going on. We had one investor who was sending us $5,000 by mail, and it hadn't come in yet. And then we were still short about $3,400. So one of our extras actually decided to give us the $3,400, so he gave it to us on a Monday, and then we paid Michael and the crew Tuesday. So
Oh, who was that?
Ken.
Oh, Ken.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool. Go
He's
Ken.
really nice. He's a great guy.
The lawyer.
Mhm.
Yeah. Cool.
Cool. Yeah. So Ken, and then we have one of Laura's cousins who sent in $5,000, and then we got an extra, whatever the difference was. I can't think right now because I can't do math. That came from Chad.
How about when is the third payment due?
The third payment and the insurance is due on the 23rd, between the 23rd and 26th this month. So.
How are you going to get that?
Well, Jason O'Brien might actually fund the final payment, and we're still we're hoping that that's not necessarily going to be the case because he'll be dipping into his retirement money. But, you know, you got to do what you got to do, and he's willing to do it, so.
Yeah, bud.
That's the theme for the day, by the way. Move your ass.
Move your ass? Okay.
Yeah, you've arrived on a very, I don't know how to describe it today, but it's a very highly...
Charged?
Well, I think we've reached that point in the shoot now where everybody's kind of pissed at each other.
Nice.
So now we're all just kind of having fun with it now. So it's a good day, yeah.
Sweet.
And ever since I told Kendall to move his ass now, that's come on to our theme all day now.
Sweet. Any listens now?
Well, I don't know if he listens, but he moves his ass.
Brian.
Yeah.
Look at the monitor.
Yes, sir. That is the shot.
Okay.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
You're a genius.
Can you at least say it nicer?
Might as well just what?
Can't you say like, hey, we're fixing to block this out. Do you
No.
mind before you eat?
Day one, I might have said that, but now, get your ass there. We're blocking the goddamn shot.
There's my ass.
Hunter, get your ass over here.
I'll listen to him.
He loves this now.
I'll listen to him.
Get your ass over here. Get your ass over here.
How are you?
I'm good.
Thank
Good.
you very much.
I'm good. It was a little early this morning.
Yeah.
But we've snapped out of it. We got some food and we're good.
What time did you get here?
5?
Was it late?
No. Well, it was a little late. Yeah.
So you've already shot some scenes today, though?
Mm-hmm. We've shot 3 scenes? 3 scenes. We're breaking for lunch.
I wanted to point out a couple of things here, how the people react to each other. If you will notice, the camera crew is all together, except for the sound man. He's a loner, so he's out by himself. Then over in the cart, the 2 main stars, they have to be separated from all the other people. Then you got me by myself because I'm a loner, and then you have all the rest of the crew over there together. You would think we were all separate, but I think everybody gets along pretty well. They just gravitate towards their own.
She gave you an 8 out of 10.
Hey, Abby.
I like that.
Go ahead and scoot over.
Practice.
Marker. And action.
Hadn't had a good shot all day. Here's your chance. Pulls back, he swings.
Oh, nice. It's on the green.
Heading toward the hole.
It's in.
He finally pulled it off.
You see that thing?
Oh, wait. What is this?
Looks like Hunter isn't the only one scoring today.
Uh-oh, he's a little upset.
Are you guys okay?
Yeah, it was a near miss.
What happened?
The break. And it was some good kissing going on though.
Yeah, I did
What
hear
can I
that
say?
though.
You know. I knew that was gonna happen.
Go, Forrest. Great. Go get it. Go get it. Go get it.
Oh.
Now you're on your own.
Yeah.
Hey, Forrest. Forrest. That was payback, okay? Sticking out of the water like Excalibur, and I don't want to pull it. We salvaged one.
Woohoo! I learned to read tarot cards when I was in Australia, which was not too long before the filming began.
What this is telling me, that Logan is real lackadaisical and he doesn't really give a shit what happens. But if he would get a hold of himself and do the things that he's supposed to do, he could do very well. But at the point now, he's not there in that. He's not in that mood. That's what I see. If you was change and start looking inside yourself and start thinking about what you really want as opposed to just taking it one day at a time, you could do very well. Now, what do you say? Now that the crude part has got out of the way, be sweet.
I like your style. I do. Well, the laziness card is what we were just talking about before with her, and it's not necessarily, it doesn't mean that you're lazy. It's just sort of, you know, you're enjoying the things that you have around you, and you're kind of kicking back, watching the ocean, drinking your drink. But there's more out there. So maybe it doesn't mean you necessarily have to plan, but maybe it means spending some time soul searching, you know.
I definitely see the day-by-day thing because there's pretty much no other way I can take it until I leave for California.
I wish that I had started this process 10 years ago. I'm 36 years old. And the whole idea when they say once you hit 30, you can't do the things you used to, that is so totally true. I would have loved to have the benefit of youth to be able to be up for 36 or 40 hours straight. But I have to say, it's a very strange thing. Once you get past a certain period and you've been with people so long, even after we've been on set for, I think yesterday, we hit a record at 35 hours where we'd all been up. And we got out and we're like, okay, we're wrapped today. We stood around for an hour talking. You know, because you spend so much time with somebody, you don't want to leave their company.
Brian. Yeah. How's it going?
I've had better days. I've had extremely better days. I don't know whose bright idea it was that we would shoot all through the night and into the next morning, because I'm like a person outside of myself today.
How many hours have you guys been filming now?
Since 9 o'clock last night, and now it's 11:30 a.m. I've been awake for like 28 hours.
I'm sorry. See, look, I don't know. I suck. I think you saw me.
Let's just have you your looks.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
Oh no.
Oh,
are you sure? Yeah, I'm sorry.
I've got to regain control here. All right, who's being filmed?
Hey, I didn't make it. Oh yeah, we were passing it across the
yeah. Oh my God, this was going on the whole
We didn't even think about it. We need to do it.
Oh, gee.
I don't think it was happening on our lines.
I don't think it was happening on the lines more.
Yeah, we need to. Oh, it was. Yeah.
On her line?
Yeah, because I was trying to pick out who we were ending up with these.
Okay, we can sit back away from the table.
And before we roll, we need to call. Quiet, I'm upset. Because they're talking downstairs like, I don't know. Other than that, it was great. Very good.
Other than that,
I'm going back to my hole now.
Today's a special day. Why?
When we first developed the concept of this film, the most crucial scene, the first scene that ever popped into the creator's mind, I'm going to put it like that. But the first thing that came to us that we really built the film around was this notion of this depressed chef who walks into this kitchen, turns on the gas of the oven, opens the door and sticks his head in. And it was such a funny scene that we thought, you know, maybe we actually could write a comedy to actually see the very first scene done. And it was totally hysterical. And that was whenever we'd start talking about the film. A year ago, when we were talking about this film just in concept, and we'd say, we thought of this hysterical idea. And we would tell people, and they would say, oh yeah, I would watch that movie. But to see this first scene that just started the whole thing was amazing. And I have to say, they got banged up. They beat the crap out of each other. It was hysterically funny. And I mean, this is one of the only ones that really caught me I really literally had to bite my head to keep from dying laughing. So, and I hope that when the audience sees that, they'll understand that whether you're a writer or whatever creative process you have, that a very small idea can blossom into something so huge that the next time you turn around, you have 50 extras sitting in there for hours at a time. You have people that are coming on board, hey, I want to help. Started with a very, very small idea. It's a beautiful thing. This has been one of the best days.
This is. So he's not going to say, you know, the French.
What? You didn't say that.
Where's my script?
She claims there's a line in the script that I don't know about. I'm only the director.
Isn't it possible that you've momentarily forgotten some of the script?
No, do not cast doubt on the director. I'm supremely confident at all times. Get out of my shot.
The director is
I'm
always
supremely
wrong.
confident at all times. See. Here, come on
All
camera.
right, I'm coming on camera.
Come on camera.
We have rehearsed it at different times with him saying something. But he's correct. It's an MOS shot. Sorry.
She wanted to add some line about you know the French. See,
I swear we talked. I mean,
So,
it was
take
rehearsed.
two. What did you say about me?
I said you were right. I was right. I was wrong. This happens
Where's
so
Steve-O?
rarely that I need to tell him this on film.
I flip over.
Oh my God! All I look like is a big, like,
Because
bar
it's all,
hoe.
okay, look, it's in the bag, okay? Just shut up. It'll be teased
Who has
to
been,
high
like-
hell, okay? Just, please stop moving.
I got it.
Oh, crap.
Wow. I'm scared now.
That's freaky, isn't it?
That's scary.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you, Henry.
And cut. Does it look focused at the end, or that was it? Yeah, it looked good. Thank you, Abby.
Yay, Abby!
This weekend's probably the most intensive that we've had so far, and this will be the last intensive shoot that we have. The scenes here are the most complicated ones, and so we were expecting to have a long day here, but after this everything's going to wind down, and then we'll have 2 more weeks of shooting, and then we're done. Of course, we have a couple people moving to California.
Hit my bill, and then hit 10.
Dad wanted me to play one, but I went with the
Hit Interstate 10, and then take it all the way across.
Well, I believe that Abby's future career is really, she's going to take it as far as she can go. You know, there's something that her mother and I have always said to her ever since she was little, and that is if you have a dream or a desire or a goal to do something, don't let anybody tell you you can't do it. Go out there and do the best that you can.
I think my dad being in the spotlight has really prepared me for a future in this business, which I'm aspiring to be a part of. And I really couldn't have had a better teacher of how to be a celebrity, I guess. That kind of, you know, it sounds right.
I guess we're a little partial because we're her parents, but she can sing, she can act. She's gone from one extreme to the other, playing, like I said earlier, a 8-year-old little boy, to being able to sing at the House of Blues in Los Angeles, doing the national anthem in Dodger Stadium when she was little. She's got the ability to go as far as her talent's going to take her.
What was it like to work with this cast and crew?
Oh, well, I mean, it was just fantastic. I honestly
I'm sure everybody says this, or maybe not, but I mean, I really couldn't have asked to work with a better group of people.
We were teasing Abby about the fact that, we all feel that she is going to be a very successful star. And we're like, if you don't remember us, it's okay. And bless her little heart, she really, with conviction, that almost made me cry. She was like, how could I ever forget you?
I really love them, and I grew to respect them more and more. So,
Go all the way across, and that takes 10 takes us straight into LA. And then we're going to end up right there, Long Beach.
Well, I'm moving out, gonna live in Malibu with my sister Stephanie, who's in school out there, and I'm just gonna get a stable job. Stable job meaning, retail or something like that. I think you need to be smart about, even just living out there, like the cost of living is, so, and then, see what route I want to do about the manager or the agent.
So Lindsay, are you sad to see Logan go?
Well, yeah, it's gonna be sad, but I'll be there in September, so we'll meet again.
Basically this walking oddity, this freak of nature, if you will, that oozes beside me is my old roommate Clint, which was pretty much stayed roommate. But he's actually from California, and so it's basically my new beginning and taking him home at the same time. It's Birmingham, LA, California.
Every woman was set.
Whatever. Andrew's ready. Okay. Line up and stand. Everybody make one.
saw me leaving, now you saw me returning.
It's like he never left.
It is like that.
It's like a sorority paparazzi.
It has been 3 months. We are at a standstill. It is frustrating because everybody really wants to get this project done, to say we did it. You know, we're very proud of what we've done so far, but nobody can see it yet.
You know, it's the continual search for investors, you know, trying to get the word out to distributors and get buzz going about the film. So there's a lot of different things being done. It's taking a little too long, a lot longer than I expected.
I'm more on the let's pursue the safer avenues. Let's not have to sell our houses and live in boxes to get this done. And there are others in the group that don't think like that.
My own personal belief is that the only way that this is going to get done is by personal finance, this stuff. You know, because I've heard all the stories about people maxing out their credit cards and everything like that, you know, so of course that is creating a good deal of contention amongst the group.
Everybody wants the same thing, but you have some different personalities, and so there's tension when it gets down to something like this that involves money and time, because everyone has a different pace.
You know, it's kind of frustrating that I feel like that there's only a couple of us that can, you know, put money in to get it done.
Anytime you're in a situation where you have a group of people and you've got some that are able to do more, on the one hand, it's appreciated. On the other hand, that is a caution flag to me. Because in order to really keep inequality, everybody has to assume the same kind of risk.
I'm more concerned with is that we get the film made, but everybody is still in a good position where they're not putting themselves at any kind of financial risk.
Short side of selling this house and living out of that cardboard box. We've put about as much into this as we can personally, which is frustrating because other people can do a little bit more.
I think the conflict's developing because I'm wanting to go ahead and pursue the solution now, because like I told the group, I'm not getting any younger. You know, I've started at, you know, I'm, you know, about to turn 34 in January, you know, so I've started at an age for film which is kind of older. You know, and I want to be making films. That's what I want to do. So I don't want to waste any time, especially when we've got a finished film. We just have to get it edited. I don't want to waste the time when it doesn't look like we're going to be successful in finding outside investors.
The film has to be finished for that, because otherwise we've created a big stir for nothing.
I have to feel like if you have enough passion to make a film like we did, that you make whatever sacrifices are necessary to get it done. I'd like to feel like there was at least some other people beside me taking that same kind of a sacrifice and a risk. You know, it's going to get done. You know, the sacrifice is going to be made somewhere. You know, I hope it's not all me. You know, I hope as a team, like everything else that we did, we can work together as a team and come up with that solution the same way that we came up with every other solution. You know, and so that we can get that film done and have this example of our work, and it can go on to do what we think it will do, you know, which is, you know, sell to someone, you know, be seen by someone. Because there were people we knew, they were like relatives, you know, people like that. So we didn't really have any true outside investment, you know, so that's the biggest thing that I'd tell you is if, you know, in making a feature film in this area, probably not to expect outside investment for a first-time film.
Yeah, we've actually formulated a business plan, which is supposed to be done next week, to actually present to investors that explain our whole methodology for what we're going to try to do. We're obviously going to approach distributors first, and then four-walling is obviously, kind of our last resort option. So then we had a meeting with the Core Six, and Stephen and Lindsay were also there. And I basically made my appeal that, that I don't think we're going to find outside investment. That we're probably going to have to finance this thing ourselves. And basically made the appeal that we need to get some kind of small business loan or something like that. And everybody was pretty much on board. They agreed that it's, it's been too long since we wrapped. This is probably where we're going to end up anyway. If we waited another 6 months trying to get investors, we're probably going to end up at that same point. So that was good that everybody was on the same page. We obviously have the details to work out now, but at least there's not as much of the bickering, there's not as much of the, everybody's kind of back together. That's the best way to put it. So basically tonight we're having the first kind of public screening, hey Patsy, of the current rough cut of the film. And the basic reason we're doing this is to, we've got a couple more months left of post-production, and at this point it'll be really helpful if we get some outside opinions from people that weren't involved in the day-to-day of the film, so that we can see what kinds of things work and what doesn't work.
You getting excited?
I'm the kind of excited that where you can't decide if you want to throw up or throw yourself off a building. Both of them sound really good.
At the same time?
Yeah. Blah, blah! No, I mean, I know it's part of it, and this is the first time that anybody else has seen it, so it's like, I don't know. It's not like they're going to kill us if they hate it, but, it's hard to know what to hope for, if they'll just love it or...
you'll get some well-directed advice.
I hope so.
This is the premiere of the rough cut of Killing Christian to get some ideas about audience reaction, and I wasn't nervous until I got here and saw all of these people that I don't know. And here's one of those people, Buzz Newman.
She knows me. My name's Buzz Newman, friends with Jason Kendall. He told me about the film, just thought I'd come and check it out, have experience in Hollywood with Warner Brothers. I got the LA connection, and I'm just here to see what these guys got and get a feedback for them and let them know whether they got something or not.
It's been a fun process with this whole film, and I'm really looking forward to screening it with a good-sized crowd and see what everyone thinks. So that's it. See you tomorrow.
Can you tell us the status of your involvement right now with Wastebasket, or what's been going on?
Right now, I sort of stepped back from everything a little bit about a month ago, because personally I was having a difficult time with my finances, and so were some other people, and it felt a little unhealthy. I mean, literally, it was making me feel sick. I was so caught up in this, and it felt like so much pressure to try to do something that we didn't know how to do in a time frame that was really tight. And when your personal life is out of order and you're pressured to try to make something happen at the same time, something has got to give at some point.
Please tell us how you really feel. The more that you give us, the better.
So if anybody says cut the fat guy out, I'm going to kill you.
I think these guys got a lot of talent. I think there's a good piece of work that's under there. I know this is a rough cut. They're scratching at the surface. I think once they get it together and pull it in and make it tighter, it's going to be a good film. Character driven, definitely. Some of the characters came on very strong. A couple of the characters are a little bit weak, but one of the main things that my biggest critique is the fact that, you know, you can't be too harsh. It's a first film for everybody, and your first is always your learning experience. But right now, I'm impressed with the guys. They've got a good piece of work, and I'm just interested to see what the final product looks like.
I can't wait to read the ballots feedback. It looked like we got a bunch of people filling them out. But even just in the section, we got a lot of good feedback. People were real honest about scenes that, you know, made us think about some things that we hadn't thought of either. But yeah, plus it was good to see a lot of the crew together again. You know, just have everybody together, you know, since we've been apart for a while. You know, fun night though. A lot of fun. All right, man.
Yes, this is what, as a filmmaker, you have to get used to. People snapping pictures of you, people wanting to sit with you. I've had people offer me money. Okay, not really. Just sex, but anyway. Which, yeah, that's why I'm so tired. Just kidding.
They're not in?
We can film them when you go.
We're gonna go. Hey, buddy.
I'm glad to be in front of the camera again. You know, I missed it. But here we are, premiere night. 2 years later, we finally premiering. Did they put it up there? No. I think we were going to ask them if they would.
Yeah.
There have been some management issues when we got here. It's like the old days with location issues, you know. So. But what do they care? They're about to close this place down, so. But we're finally letting people in now. We're a little behind on the technical stuff, so but we're set up, ready to go.
Awesome. Okay.
Everybody's going in now.
I felt like a movie star even sometimes. Not on film much, but it was so cool to know that all those people were there because of what we had done. And to me that was, I mean, granted I wanted to sell this picture and I wanted to do all the things that we wanted to do, but that was the moment where I knew we had done it. We had succeeded in what we had planned.
The old days, you don't put the mic on.
Hey, there's a lot of people here. I'm a little nervous.
Well, you know, it was a mix. I was excited for everybody there. A little bit nervous because my family was there and I wasn't sure, you know, I had family, friends, people I worked with that came to the production, so I wasn't sure what they would think about it or how it would be viewed. And it was a little bit sad because it was kind of the end of a certain part of our journey together, so.
It's very interesting having all sorts of people like you work with and your family, your friends, and just all these different people that you've never brought together but you know all in the same place and they all know you as being, you know, a different person than what you are. And it was very exciting and a sense of completion.
I didn't feel like a star that night. I felt like a part of something bigger than myself. Maybe that's what a star feels like, but I didn't call it a star. Is different, I guess, in their own little cage. I felt like a part of a bigger thing. That was neat. That's how I felt about it.
But I was just so amazed that not only that people had worked so hard and that this little idea that started on a porch had become something that everybody believed in and had put themselves into. And then on top of that, to see all these people that really just want to see it. And we're excited that, you know, that we were able to accomplish a dream.
It's just amazing. I mean, we sold the screening out and even had to turn some people away, so this is like beyond our expectations here. You know, this has been a dream of mine since I was 11 years old to make movies. And so, I mean, you have no idea how many times I've dreamt about a moment like this, that, you know, holding a world premiere for the first film I directed. And I just want to
thank all of you for your support and for coming out and for making this even better than 11-year-old's dream could be.
And I'd like to thank the Academy. Hey, well, y'all are a really good-looking crowd, so y'all don't mind if I practice, do you? This is also a dream come true for me, and a sincere, heartfelt thank you all to being here. This is probably the most amazing crowd I've ever seen.
I don't really want to say that much, except thank you very much for coming out. I'm actually really anxious to watch the movie.
Thank you so much for that. Before I open it up to some just questions, if anyone has it, I want to introduce you to a number of our cast and crew because they deserve just as much attention as any of us here. Yeah, before I forget, there is an after party, and it's not just for cast and crew. We would love to have you come out there, and I want to hear what you think of the film, and you can buy me a beer if you'd like. The after party. Oh, sorry. Well, I thank you so much for coming, and I thank all of these people up here, especially Anise, because you guys made this film what it truly is. I thank you so much.
To me, I want to produce something tangible that will last beyond my life. What better way than making movies? Movies are going to be with us forever. You put something down on celluloid or on tape, as we did, and it's there for all time, you know, and that's what I want. I want something tangible there that my daughter's kids can watch and say, you know what, he did it. He made this movie, you know? That's what I dream of.
Go for it. I mean, and just keep pushing.
I grew a lot. I'm hoping everybody else grew a lot. I'm a different person when I was there. I see the movie and I loved because sometimes you remember the bad moments. The money, so getting the money, paying the money, the stress of that money, how it affected everybody, how we all defined what money was for us.
After the film was over and everybody got up front together and we were all hugging and congratulating each other, and that was the best moment for me afterwards, knowing that we'd done something and brought it to completion and be able to show it to people that cared about us. The best way that we can help people in doing any type of project is to make them understand that they can do whatever they want and that those things can come true. And it is hard work, it is stressful, and there are always going to be barriers along the way, but if you just keep going, little steps at a time, it can be done.
You know, I guess the biggest thing I've learned going through this process is, you know, reading about all these established filmmakers that have achieved success and are having trouble getting their movies financed. And it made me think, you know, who the hell were we with this little tiny film, you know, with no stars, thinking we were going to get all this money coming in, thinking it was going to sell and turn a profit of millions of dollars. And I guess you have to have that dream to make something happen like this. But, you know, it just makes you disheartened to think how so many people are struggling to make it in this business. So I think about Francis Ford Coppola recently saying that the only way to true happiness in this business is to have complete control over the process. You know, and to almost get to the point where you don't care whether the film is going to sell or not. You just make your movies. So I just hope to be able to do it. Yeah.
Dear God, could you give me a ride to my girlfriend's house? And a pony.
I love the word.
The end.
Well, I don't wanna go. Well, I don't wanna say goodbye. But now I know life is a compromise. You know we had it rough. Oh, tumbling and fall. We got back up. We made it happen after all. And every time the sun shines, it's a brand new day. And that's something that you can't take it away. Well, it's funny how it goes. You got to listen without ears, and everybody knows laughter causes tears. But I took a dream and I made it my own, and it was hard, so hard. But now I know that every time the sun shines, it's a brand new day. And that's something that you can't take it away. You can't take it away. Take it away.
That's what we needed, dude.